Rotarians and guests, please take your seats. This meeting of Oakland Rotary 3 has now begun. Welcome to the Oakland Ballroom. Thank you, yeah. Thank you guys. This is very exciting. My name is Jesse Schmidt. I'm on the board of directors for our club, and our president, Shannon has turned over the microphone to me. She's flying over the country right now thinking, what have I done putting the microphone in this guy's hands? But I'm very happy to be standing up here in front of Oakland Rotary number 3, the 3rd oldest Rotary club in the world, but the first best. And I'm proud to be here with you folks today. So I'm calling this meeting to order, and I'd like to say hello to our online Zoomers and Facebookians. I don't know if we're doing Facebook Live right now, but welcome our online people. And I'd like to ask the crowd, do we have any visiting Rotarians with us today? Fred Morse is over here. He's got the microphone, and we do have a visiting Rotarian. No, just a guess? All right. So it doesn't look like we have any visiting Rotarians. If you have brought a guest with you today, we would love to have you introduce them. Please, Mary, please tell us your business and who you have with you today.
Hello, my name is Mary Jiang, and I'm a CPA, very busy right now, but I'm coming here to support Jesse today. I'd like to introduce 2 guests today. First is Jessica Chan. She's the VP and branch manager and everything to Metro Bank. And she, thinking like a future Rotarian, is bringing her guest, which I'm introducing, and this is Johnny O'Brien, who is with Family Bridges. They do senior housing for seniors, with homelessness, with care, healthcare, everything. He does everything. So he's from South Bay, and he just became a CEO a few months ago of Family Bridges in Oakland, Chinatown. So he wants to meet the movers and shakers at Rotary.
Welcome. Thank you, former President Mary Jiang. In the back, we have Mac.
Mr. Acting President, I'd like to introduce to the ladies, gentlemen, and Rotarians present today, Lon Shaw. She is the president of the Oakland Ballet. She is my guest today, and we have some flyers on the table for you to peruse, learn about, and I think there's a little bit of time for me to say something more about why she's here, but very important person. Meet Lon.
Thank you for being here, Lon. Great to have you. Anna Marie Jones.
Hello, my fellow Rotarians. I'm Anna Marie Jones. It's my pleasure to introduce Kira Pascoe. She is a friend and a favorite community collaborator. She's the Director of Development for the Oakland Parks and Recreation Foundation. Please welcome Kira.
Great to have you here today. Thanks for coming. All right, it looks like we may have gotten all of our guests. Do we have any guests online? Peter Shares? Looks like we might. Hey everybody, what's up? Linda Hamilton. Everybody wave to Linda. Wave to both 2 Lindas. And we got Christy and we got Wise. How are you folks today? Great to have you. I'm going to invite a very special person up to the stage right now. You know her, you love her. It's her birthday tomorrow. Round of applause for Pam Clausen, please.
Hello, Oakland Rotarians. I'm bringing you today's Thought for the Day, and it is attributed to Liz Fosslien, the author of Big Feelings, How to Be Okay When Things Are Not Okay. And hopefully this aligns well with today's speaker. Diversity is having a seat at the table. Inclusion is having a voice. Belonging is having a voice to be heard. Here's to all of us supporting belonging in our Rotary family.
Thank you so much, Pam. Hey, Pam, it is your birthday, and I do have this very attractive hat up here that somebody gave me. Would you mind wearing it for our meeting? Another round of applause for Pam Clausen, everybody. Thank you so much. And while we're at it, we do have a couple other birthdays to celebrate this month, so I'd like to throw out a happy birthday to Jim Bossenecker, Bonnie Prestridge, Dana Sack, who I know is here. I see him over there. Happy birthday, Dana. Nuno Ferreira, Barbara Beery, Maud Pervier, Bob Breeker, Cedric Titus, Phil Campbell, Patricia Wells, Chet Burgess, Kathy Dwyer, Bart Carter, Young Bai, and last but not least, former President Mary Rudzer. So round of applause for all those April birthdays, everybody. So, I do see a shiny orb spinning around out there, and I have something fun to mention about that. So, David Stein has raised his magic wand, and so I get to do this. And when you hear that sound of the bell, that means that the person who has raised their magic wand and caused me to ring that bell has just made a 100% tax-deductible donation to the Oakland Rotary Endowment. David Stein, would you like to let us know why you rang that bell just now?
Does this work? There we go. Now it's working. Good. President for the day, Jesse, fellow Rotarians, it would be my honor to ring the bell for Pam and her birthday and the great work she has done for this club. She is absolutely awesome. Please. So you've already rung the bell, so I can't ask you to do it again, but thanks, Pam.
Thank you so much, David. Wendy is in the back over there running our lunch, and hopefully she's taking down names of bell ringers, because we're going to throw in, we're going to juice the pot a little bit here. For every bell ring today, you're going to see your president of the day do one push-up on the stage. Okay? So you all know I'm a fitness guy, and so I would love to see some more bell rings. Oh my God, there goes Joe Goralka. His hand went immediately up in the air. Can somebody get a microphone to Joe, please? He wants to see me do some push-ups up here.
Yeah, Jesse, I want to see you do at least 3 push-ups, maybe 4. So in the last couple of weeks, Rotary's touched my life in a very special way 3 times. So I'm going to ring the bell 3 times, so that's at least 3 push-ups.
All right.
Maybe one-handed, one-footed, I don't know. But I had the pleasure of being at camp at Enterprise Institute and see all the inspired high school students. It was a fabulous event. I also had the privilege of heading off to Medellin, Colombia, and see the service projects that we're doing there. And then I joined a group of high school buddies on Kauai to celebrate us being 70 and get together. And coincidentally, 3 of them, half of them, are all Rotarians. So Rotary touched my life in 3 ways. And you know what, Jesse? I'd like to see you do one more. I'd like to ring the bell for Jesse, our acting president, who I think has got a great stage presence.
Thank you, Joe. So is that 3 or 4, just to clarify? 4 rings from Joe. Holy moly. All right, I did see some more wands go up. We've got Ruth Stroup in the back. And Fred, we're close to Lois over here, if you want to hand her the microphone.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. I want to ring the bell for my Chautauqua Cardinal, Jersey, Stanford, Center of New Jersey, Cory Booker. His speeches, they were absolutely amazing, and I'm glad that he kicked Strom Thurmond in the butt in terms of hours.
Thank you so much, Lois. And then we also have Ruth Stroup in the back.
I'd like to ring the bell in honor of Stephanie Cosenza, who's doing so much to make the gala happen. Join us on April 10th.
All right, and Ruth Stroup has rung the bell for the gala. We are going to hear from our gala committee chair. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. So we had 4 for Joe, 1 for Lois, and we have another one for Ruth back there. Apologies, I should not deprive you of the bell ring. Thank you so much for ringing that bell. We are up to a total of 7 push-ups so far, and hopefully we'll see some more. I do have some somber news to relay to you folks today. It is with great condolences that I am announcing that Marty Burchell passed away last month, longtime Rotarian Marty Burchell. Many of her friends will be gathering on April 6th, which is this Sunday, at the Potomac in Jack London Square to celebrate what would have been her 80th birthday. So I'd like to invite you all to take a brief moment of silence with me for Marty. Thank you very much. All right. We also had a couple of our Rotarians recognized by the City of Oakland for Women's History Month. So this is one of the great parts of being an Oakland Rotarian, is getting to rub shoulders and be around so many amazing people. And so I'd like to offer congratulations and also give a round of applause for Patricia Wells and Tamil Gilkerson, who were officially recognized by the City of Oakland during Women's History Month. So congratulations, Patricia and Tamil. We are going to invite Stephanie Cosenza up in just one moment. Is David Stein out there, and do you have a microphone? We have a brief announcement about the brown bag lunch.
Let's see if it's working. It is. Okay, on your table, there is a flyer for the brown bag lunch. For those of you who don't know, on April 24th, rather than meet here, we're going to meet at 10 different venues hosted by Rotarians. Those 10 venues are listed on that sheet. And at the bottom of the sheet, there's the code that you can scan to sign up for the venue. Please sign up today. We need you to sign up and pick your first, second, and third choice venue. It'll take you to a place to do that, and we need your lunch choice. Please do it right away so we can get these. We want to have a good turnout. We've got 10 great venues, everything from bath and kitchen remodels to Children's Fairyland, from Johnstone Supply to the Oakland Zoo to the Oakland campus, Holy Names, and other great places are all listed here. So please sign up today. Use that scan code on the bottom of the sheet. Thank you.
Thanks very much, David. Okay, you know what time it is. It's time to talk gala. Stephanie Cosenza, come on up. Round of applause. Stephanie is working around the clock right now with her committee so that our gala is incredible.
Thank you, President, for the day, Jesse. Just a reminder, next Thursday, as Ruth said, is our gala. It starts at 6 p.m. in the lobby of 1111 Broadway. And if you've not bought your Best of Live ticket, today is the last meeting to buy it at. I will be selling them at the event, but if you can get them in advance. We have 9 wonderful live auction packages, that lots of fun experiences. So you can check out the list in the back. Thank you so much.
That's it? That's it. Oh. Round of applause for Stephanie Cosenza. So concise. I would like to remind everybody, we do not have a Rotary meeting next Thursday, okay? So you can save all your energy for the gala, having a great time there, hanging out with all your friends. Our next presenters, we have Catherine Cole. Are they? Oh, Catherine's right over here. Round of applause for Catherine Coleman.
President Shannon and past President David have got fabulous activities and speakers rushing at us from every direction. Here's one more event, put in your calendars, a Sibley Volcanic Park Naturalist Tour on Saturday, April 12th at 1:30. This is a special opportunity. It's taken months for us to get a reservation with a naturalist. This is the East Bay Regional Park's largest restoration ever, and they think it may be the biggest restoration in the state of California. Really special. We'll be able to see the changes with all of the rains this last year. We'll be able to hear about all the critters that are flocking to the area. This is an historic part of Oakland. This is a newer part of Sibley off Pinehurst Road. No dogs, but everything else about this event will be perfect. April 12th, 1:30.
Thank you very much, Catherine. So that's not 2 days from now, that's 9 days from now, 2 Saturdays from now. Thanks very much. Well, how's that lunch out there, folks? Is that delicious? Enjoying that fried chicken? You guys on Zoom, you're not eating it. You only get that if you're in the ballroom. Glad you're enjoying the lunch. President Shannon has given me the distinct privilege of doing something very cool today, and that is that I get to induct 3 new members of Oakland Rotary number 3. Pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. So I am going to turn over the microphone once again, first to our president-elect, Merlin Edwards, who's going to take 2 minutes to give us 2 interesting facts about his new Rotary member, Bob Harris. So, gentlemen, Bob, if you wouldn't mind coming up and joining Merlin at the microphone. If I start doing jumping jacks, you know your 2 minutes is up. So, Merlin, come on up. Round of applause for Merlin and Bob.
Today I have the honor and the privilege of introducing a longtime friend of mine. We've known each other for almost 50 years old. We met when we were about 5. But I'd like to introduce Robert Harris. He's a former member of the Oakland Port Commission. He grew up in a segregated rural Arkadelphia, Arkansas, and he came to Oakland in 1960. After graduating from law school, he became a legal counsel for PG&E, where he retired as vice president. Interesting facts. He is the first and only lawyer at in PG&E's history to argue and win a case before the United States Supreme Court. That definitely deserves an applause. He was also the first lawyer from the West Coast to be elected president of the National Bar Association. Those are the 2 interesting facts. And if I were to list all of the things that Bob has done, I'd probably be up here for the next hour and a half. So my kudos and welcome Bob Harris as a member of the Oakland Rotary number 3.
Bob, congratulations. If you gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind just standing right over here on the side. Easy for you. Can you take a little picture here? Thanks so much. So for each of our new members, we'll just have you stand right over here next to the flag, and I'll invite Will and your new member, Jim Morris. And I'm going to hand you our, after you've done the introduction, I'll hand you our handbook and our 4-way test. All yours.
Thank you, Acting President Jesse. It's my great pleasure to introduce to the club Jim Morris. Jim and I first became acquainted when we were both working for Community Bank of the Bay here in Oakland. And I had such an admiration for Jim that when I retired, I handed over all of my major account relationships to him. Jim currently works for Amalgamated Bank in San Francisco, where he's the first vice president. Amalgamated Bank has an interesting history. It was started in 1923 by the Amalgamated Garment Workers Union. And it was an innovative bank in that it created the first unsecured personal loan for individuals. So that's the history of Amalgamated. Today, the chairman of the board of Amalgamated is Lynn Fox, and the CEO is Priscilla Brown Sims. So it's a woman-led bank. 2 interesting facts about Jim. First, he's an Oakland native. He has 3 children, 2 girls and 1 boy, who are between the ages of 25 and 35. The second interesting fact is Jim is a former cyclist and bicycle racer. As a teenager, he rode around Lake Tahoe and from Moraga to Yosemite Valley with a friend when he was 14 years old. So we're going to have Mark Rosen reaching out to him to join the cyclists in our club. And we won't ask you to ride all the way to Yosemite Valley, Jim. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yeah, you can stand up. You can give them a round of applause. All right. Here. Get in there. Let's get a good photo op. Pardon me. All right, thank you for bearing with us. We have one more introduction. Last but not least, Gary Flaxman, and we also have Bob Muldoon. Come on up to the stage.
All right, thank you, Jesse. Fellow Rotarians, I have a privilege of, actually, let me just say, we are last, but we're definitely not least. So we have the pleasure of my friend Bob Muldoon, and the good thing here is that this is a 2-for-1. Because of Fred Morris's lovely parties, some of you have already met Bob and his lovely partner Hazelin, and because of how gracious you all were, you convinced him, wow, these are a bunch of nice people. So the two fun facts that I have, and I'm going to go a little off script here, is Bob wanted everybody to know that he came out here during the pandemic, and he got stuck out here, but he got stuck out here with Hazelin, and so he decided to stay. And the other fun fact, although I think this will drop, is he's a Yankee fan, and I know that's not going to go very well over here. But I thought I would share a nice little story because he really is an enthusiastic, genuine individual. So he came out here, it was last year during the Super Bowl. We had the Niners in the Super Bowl, and it was a very close game. At the very end of the game, Bob was like, wow, what a great game. But, the Niners lost, the whole crowd was silent, and I thought, wow, this guy is really as genuine as it gets. So please, my friend Bob, welcome to Rotary.
So what we're giving you here is the Rotary roster, instructions for our online stuff, which is important because we have a new app, and it's how you find everybody in the club and call them up, okay? And also very important is the 4-way test, okay? These are our core values in Rotary. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it help us create omnipresent intergalactic oneness? No, just kidding. The last one's, is it beneficial to all concerned? So another round of applause for these new Rotarians. Oh my God. That's how you know I'm a rookie up here on the stage. I forgot the most important part. So you guys, a lot of great men on the stage right now. You guys are going to get your red badge, okay? And this starts you on the path toward your blue badge. And that's when you really know you're an A player in the Rotary Club. So Bob, here's your badge. And then we're going to go Bob, other Bob. And you guys want to pin those on. I absolutely can do one more push-up, Joe Garaka.
So I want to ring the bell. Welcome to all our new members, but this is a belated bell ringer for Bob and Hazelin. Several years ago, they opened their home to our Global Grant Scholar from Japan. Thank you, Bob and Hazelin. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much, Joe. So, gentlemen, you can sit down. Bob Muldoon, we're going to get a quick pic. Yep. Everybody here. I'll stay. All right. Thanks, guys. You can sit down. Uh-oh, we have another bell ringer. I see Seth Butner.
I'd like to ring the bell for Bob Harris as well. Bob is one of my mentors in Oakland, and the whole reason I do everything I do is because of Bob Harris.
Thank you so much, Seth. I count 9 bell rings. Oh, I see Mac with his hand up over here. Can we get a microphone to Mac in the? Oh, we also have Christine Miller. You have a microphone in your hand.
Okay.
Christine Watson, excuse me.
I just wanted to reacquaint my family with Bob Harris. He was the pole mark for my husband when he was in Arizona State. And you can follow up with me to find out who that is. And I'm putting forth $100.
Thank you, Christine.
In his honor.
All right, yeah. Round of applause for Christine. We have Mac in the back.
Hello. I have the distinct honor as well as knowing Bob Harris, and I've known him for a long time. His list of distinguished accomplishments is exceedingly long. And for that, I would love to ring the bell for Bob Harris.
Thank you so much, Mac. All right. I would love to introduce, or to bring up, oh my God, the bell rings keep going. Here comes Lois with another one.
So, Mr. Harris, welcome. I have known Mr. Harris since I was 20 years old.
Real close.
And he came down to Stanford to inspire pre-law students to go to law school. So I've known him, then I got to meet his wife, and so he's just been in my life in that 50-year kind of mark.
Thank you, Lois. All right, you guys must want to see some push-ups. Okay, so I'm going to invite up our Enterprise Institute crew. We got to go in about 3 minutes because we're a little perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Round of applause for Enterprise Institute.
A round of applause for all of you out there who were there. So, Enterprise Institute was March 14th, 15th, 16th, as many of you know, because many of you were there. We had 74 students throughout OUSD. We had 30-plus Rotarians, but we'll get to that later. But it all began with a personality test that the students completed before they even showed up on Friday here. So if you look on your tables, you'll have that personality test, and that was the basis for our curriculum this year. I know for me, if you look at the L, I'm a lion and beaver and a little bit of golden retriever. Kathleen, what are you?
I'm an otter, lion with a golden retriever.
So we don't really know what that means, but you can probably figure it out. The otter is like the woohoo, that loves to chat, loves to have a good time, but needs what? What do you need?
Structure, deadlines, people.
Lions, beavers.
Yeah, I need lions and beavers in my life, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, we started with that because the students got to know a little bit about themselves before attending, but also one of our main goals in the curriculum was to teach them to know their strengths and how to recognize other people's strengths, especially if they're different than their own. So our goals of the weekend were to know your strengths, to know other people's strengths, use that and work as a team to understand different occupations and careers that are out there. Because as we know, most young people think that you can only be a doctor, a lawyer, or a computer scientist, right? And so what they learned over these 3 days was that there are a lot of opportunities out there. Next, public finance, or personal finance, thank you, Kathleen. And then most importantly was public speaking, where they started on Friday with their first informal speech to their professional speech on Sunday, speeches on Sundays. It was a huge difference. So it was a fantastic weekend. Kathleen.
Yes, this was so much fun, and it was I was so impressed on how coachable these teenagers were. They were kind, they were inspired, they were really absorbing the new curriculum, and I was so impressed with the professionalism of our curriculum, having binders, name tags, everything laid out. It was so wonderful. But being in the redwoods and eating the delicious food were just wonderful, as well as my favorite part was seeing the kids incorporate financial literacy into their presentation, them talking about high interest banking accounts and compound interest, because why? It's free money. So I want to ask you all, who was there? Can you please stand up? Awesome, wonderful. And I would love it if everyone said what their favorite part of Camp Enterprise was. Tricia or Randy, would you like to start off?
Great. I've been asked to speak as a first-time participant in the Enterprise Institute weekend with 74 high school juniors at the Monte Toyon Retreat Center in Aptos. The more time I spend with young people, the more enthusiastic I am about our future, if only we could get through our present. It's time for a new generation of leadership, like Jesse here. Through the Enterprise Institute, we all have a rare opportunity to positively support our future leaders. It's also a wonderful opportunity to get to know your fellow Rotarians. I want to convey special thanks to all our Rotarians that contributed to our weekend. Special thanks to Tricia and Marie Sescon for all their amazing work to create such a successful, impactful gathering for our high school juniors. Next year, when the committee asks for your help, just say yes. And I'd also like to say quickly that Greg and I are really looking forward to seeing some of you at Mono Lake and an opportunity to show you our favorite place. So that's my pitch.
We're going to call Tom Lamone up here, and while he's on his way, I just want to say that I got to take part in Enterprise Institute this year for the first time, and it is a life-changing experience for the students, and this committee works tirelessly to make it an incredible experience. So, Tom Lamone is here to introduce our incredible speaker.
All right. Thank you, President Jesse, and thank you all for being here today. Today we have a special guest, someone I had hoped to schedule last year, but I'm thrilled that we finally have the opportunity to welcome him today. Our speaker is a recognized leader in diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, a topic that in recent years has become both politicized and at times misunderstood. However, the core principles of DEI align closely with Rotary's values of inclusivity, respect, and service. In 2019, Rotary International's Board of Directors and DEI Advisory Council adopted the following statement, which can be found on the Rotary International website right now. Due to time, I will only read a portion of the statement. At Rotary, we understand that cultivating a diverse, equitable, and inclusive culture is essential to realizing our vision of a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change. We believe that all people hold visible and invisible qualities that inherently make them unique, and we strive to create an inclusive culture where each person knows they are valued and belong. During Seth Butner's presidency in 2020, he reaffirmed our commitment to these principles by establishing a DEI committee. Since then, our club has remained dedicated to fostering an inclusive environment where all members, especially new ones, and our guests feel seen, valued, and welcomed. In our committees, quieter members are encouraged to contribute, while those who tend to dominate conversations are reminded to listen and engage more inclusively. These efforts, along with other practices, have made a meaningful impact over the past 5 years. Thank you, Sess. Our speaker today is Dr. Todd Jenkins, known as Dr. Bowtie Todd, and the founder of Bowtie Leadership and Development, a global consulting firm specializing in DEI, leadership, and organizational performance. With almost 20 years of experience as a DEI executive, trainer, and strategist, he has worked closely with some of the largest corporations such as Clorox, NASA, Coca-Cola, AT&T, Amazon, and Google. He has delivered keynote speeches worldwide, engaging audiences up to 30,000 people. Dr. Jenkins received a doctorate from the University of Arkansas and completed postdoctoral studies at Harvard University and currently serves as a senior researcher at Harvard Business School. He serves on Rotary International's Global Youth Council Advisory Board and served on Rotary's Global DEI Advisory Board. Beyond his professional work, Dr. Jenkins is a loving husband, father, author, and motivational speaker who believes in bow tying it all together, serving others, and making a lasting impact. Please give a warm Oakland Rotary welcome to Dr. Jenkins.
Wow, thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. I am so excited to be with you all today. And most importantly, thank you for that really generous introduction. I wish I was there in person. Of course, my travels didn't allow me to be there with you all in person, but know that my heart and my spirit is here, especially with the Rotary Club of Oakland. Today, I cannot be before you very long, right? We don't have a lot of times. And I looked at, my team told me about the title around Leading with Purpose, DEI, Leadership, and the Future of Work. As someone, as a researcher, this can take literally more than a 20-minute time to kind of unpack that. And so since as a fellow Rotarian, I thought we'll do something a little bit different today. I had a great conversation with Shannon last night and about just the climate of the club and how all the excellence, all the things that you are doing in the community. And it's just so rewarding to see the great things that you are doing. But she also shared that she loves that the Rotary Club meeting is like, she will always like for it to be the light to your day, right? And I said, okay, well, in today's current climate, everything is not so well lit in a positive way. And so if I came and talked about this, I think to appreciate the light, you also have to understand the darkness and what we are and what we are surrounded by. And it may not be necessarily in the club per se, but it's definitely in our country, it's in our community. But I did not have the time, or I don't have the time to stare at the darkness today with you. So what I do want to do is really come back to this notion and foundation while we're here today, which is the purpose of Rotary. Right? This is what brought us in this room today. We are here committed to service above self. We are here committed to the values of trying to do good in our communities. And so I just want to remind you of a few things, because even in doing good, we still have opportunity and gaps to close to do better. And so what I'm going to share with you all for the next 15 minutes is really talking about how can we continue to drive with purpose, but not just in our community, but also in our club. So I may make some people a little uncomfortable today. I'm not trying to do that intentionally, but what I would like to do is share all I can share, because I may not be invited back. So I have to say what I have to say. And so to help me do that, I thought a great way to do this is to talk about one of my favorite childhood movies, The Lion King. Okay, this will help me land this story very well, because circle of life throughout this movie, purpose wins. If you all recall, just bear with me a little bit, because I don't know your expectations for the talk today. So lower those expectations and just have fun, free your heart, free your mind to take it in. So if you all recall the Lion King movie, you think about when it all started at the beginning. If you haven't seen the Lion King movie, sorry to be a little spoiler. It is a good movie, have a lot of great lessons. But one of the lessons I want to focus on, if you all can recall, when little Simba, right? You remember Simba, the little cub, he was running away from Pride Rock because he thought he was responsible for his father's death. And he was running and he collapsed in the desert. And then if you notice, when he was collapsed because he was dehydrated, and these two characters, you remember Timon and Pumbaa, they came along this journey, and immediately I remember Timon wanted to run away. He wanted to run away from this creature, because this creature, this lion, eat individuals like them. But if you all recall, Pumbaa said, let's wait. It's just a baby, right? If you all recall that scene. And so what they did is that they took Simba into the jungle. You remember the jungle, right? In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Yeah, see, you didn't know you were going to get that today. That's a little special. But I would tell you, in the jungle, it was so many lessons that was being conveyed to Simba. And if you recall, in the jungle, even Simba became a vegetarian. He was trying all types of things in the jungle, and they would basically raise him. He got really large in the jungle, became a teenager. And then after many encounters, he returned back to Pride Rock. And I want to really take a moment for us to look at this scene, because this is important. Take a moment and look at all the characters that's on Pride Rock. You have Simba, you have Nyla, you have Timon, Pumbaa. But look in the back. Who's also at Pride Rock? You even have Scar. And we're going to talk about Scars a little bit later. But I want you all to really think about this scene. And I started to think about the lesson for today. And I think about Rotary. As a fellow Rotarian, what we do every day is really contribute to the circle of life. I mean, we meet weekly, we do service projects, we do everything, international. I mean, we are a great organization. We have so much power of influence. And I have also understand like, yes, we are very privileged to be in this organization, but yet we are not entitled. And so we have to understand that with purpose come accountability. And with accountability comes the opportunity for growth and also learning and reflection. And so what I would love for us to think about as Rotarians, like this question, what if we had more Timons and Pumas in Rotary? Think about that. Someone who will show up just not to the meeting for a friendly handshake and a social exchange for one moment of their week, but individuals that go outside of our meeting confines and really get to know people different than themselves, right? Or even inside the meeting. I mean, I know we have a very large club here. I'm actually part of a large club and from 150 members, so I understand the complexities of navigating a large club, okay? It's great, but it also has some challenges, especially when you're trying to connect and have social exchanges with people who are different than you, different in your profession, maybe different, from your table mates. I don't know how you all are placed in your table, but I know in my club, we have the same people sit at the same table every week. And it's interesting because I learned very quickly, I was like, well, why all the individuals who are 75, years plus, like they all sit at the front. So I usually go sit with them because I feel like, hey, I need to get closer to them just in case something unfortunate happening. They're they may be the ones that transition first. So I want to make sure I get to know them very well. But I also learned by even having that exchange is that they sit to the front because they can't hear and they want to make sure that they can hear. But I would have never known that if I only sat with my colleagues from the university who always sit at the back because they always leave early. Right? Like these are some real things that happen in Rotary. But as a Timon and Puma, and understanding that we can cultivate differences, with that type of, alignment, we can really make our Rotary clubs a better place. So what I want to leave you all with is what I call the bow tie experience of how you can start to assess yourself and understand that we have room for growth and we can all do this, this bigger, better, stronger together to be the light, not just to our day for one moment of the week, but to carry that light forward within and beyond the club. So here's the first piece of bow tie is an acronym. The letter B stands for, in this experience, you have to be mentally present. How many of you all know you can be physically in the room and still mentally absent? Yes, raise your hand. I see you all in there. Okay, you got to pinch your neighbors sometimes, make sure that they're still there, right? We have learned in research, right? So many people do show up just to show up, but they may not be able to really engage in the experience. So my first advice to you all is, and this is kind of just a reminder, in Rotary, we need to be mentally present. The world needs us right now. Okay, this is not time for us to be just a member on the roster. This is a time for us to be a Rotarian. And I have understand by traveling this world far and wide in Rotary is we have a lot of members and not a lot of Rotarians. And so the first thing I want to encourage you all to do, and guess what? Being mentally present and active in this work, it does not matter your age. You could be in Rotary for 50 years, 40 years, or 5 days, 5 hours. You still have an opportunity to grow your worth and value as a Rotarian. So I want you all to know this message is for everybody. And in order to do that, you have to also understand like they did in The Lion King, like what's our lay of the land, okay? In order to be mentally present in the Rotary work, of course you have to know your community. And I'm pretty sure you all know Oakland very well, right? It's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of great things happening in Oakland. And Rotary is supposed to be a light to Oakland, okay? And so you have to be able to understand, what are you all solving for? Other than the fellowship, because I love Rotary, sometimes Rotary is everyone's, a lot of people's social connection, but we do have a service component. And we have to think about, like, what are we solving for in our backyard? I'm not talking about all the great things we do outside of the places that we don't touch every day. I'm talking about as we go through the neighborhood, as we know that some of our cars was broken into. I mean, I traveled to Oakland, okay? I know what we're talking about here. But are are we doing something about it? Sorry, I'm from the South, so I get a little passionate about these things because we have to understand the lay of the land. And I think we all have an opportunity to strengthen those areas. The other thing is I love about this Lion King scene between Simba and his dad Mufasa is that they had a social exchange. They had a vulnerable conversation. And they really open up with their heart and mind to really talk about. But what was interesting in this conversation is, and it reminds me as Rotarians, sometimes do we ever create the space to have a vulnerable conversation with each other? I'm talking about us in the room, okay? I'm talking to us, I'm talking to family. Okay, sometimes we come, we have a great hoorah moment, we eat, we shake hands, and then we go back to our worlds. But are we really getting to know each other beyond the surface level? I have been in Rotary for more than now 13 years, and I would tell you it takes an intentional space and grace to open up. And I even talked to Shannon about this. I was telling her last night, it's not many people outside of, who are Rotary or Rotarians, they may have not been invited to dinner at my house. They may not know where I go to worship on Sundays. They may not know these things beyond, my hobbies of the Rotary because we don't create the space to do that. So I encourage you all to lean into each other, to have a vulnerable conversation and talk about your passions. Also in this scene, if you all remember, Mufasa told Simba, hey, everywhere the light touches is ours. But over there, that little dark space, the elephant graveyard, we don't go there. I'm telling you, as Rotarians, that's the places we need to go. I'm going to say that again. As Rotarians, those are the places we need to go where the light don't touch, okay? And I'm pretty sure you all are doing it, but I think we can continue to do it better. I always like to remind Rotarians to think about where the light don't touch and let's go be that light and be that magic. But you have to be open to new ideas. I know in many Rotary clubs, we have the gatekeepers. Now don't look, keep looking at the screen. Don't look at each other. Keep looking at me because we have gatekeepers in the club. And sometimes the gatekeepers, they don't want to change the meeting time. They don't want to change the meeting place. They don't want to do the extra stuff. They just really want to come together, smile, shake hands and leave. And I'm not saying that's bad. I think that's great that people are very comfortable in what they love to do and how they connect to Rotary. But I would say open your mind and open your heart to new ideas. The world is changing. Our club demographics are changing. You are doing a great, I've seen your club stats and demographics over the years, and you all have evolved. You're representative of your community. Like, that is beautiful. I love that. And I think we can continue to do better in that space by being open-minded. And guess what? The great ideas are in this room. You just got to create the space for it. And so W of Bowtie, be mentally present, open to new ideas, but most importantly, are you willing to engage? Grandma always said this. She always say, it's a lot of people know better, but in the world we're living in today, they don't do better. So I'm going to encourage you. It's like, what we can do to make the change in our club and to lead and to be all that, what our purpose have called us to be, but you have to engage, which means you can't sit back and allow the fire to burn. Okay. We have to get up and be proactive and engage and share those ideas. And so I ask you all to think about when it comes to diversity, equity, inclusion, like this have now been politicized, my friend. You all know we're not living on a rock in this room. I want to encourage you all to think about is that, what are your efforts, not just around diversity of your club, but even your accessibility. We have, and I looked at the email that we got and you talked about like if people have mobile issues, like these are some great efforts. So well done to your club. But I want to encourage y'all to continue to think about those things. And as I land here, and as we think about moving forward, because purpose is what will allow for us to wake up in the morning and do what thus has called for us to do as humans. I want us to really think about scars. Because so many times we get on our high horse and we have a great, great day and keep moving forward that we forget about
Dr. Todd, we have a lot of people here who'd like to ask some questions
Okay. Okay, thank you for that. I wasn't even watching the time. Give me 1 minute to wrap and I'll open up for questions. Is that okay?
Sure.
Perfect. Okay, but because this is important. Scars are very important. So many times people ask me, how do you deal with difficult members in Rotary Club or naysayers? I would say what I want to just encourage you all to think about is that as we engage with individuals who are difficult, and like, let's look at the behavior and not look at the person. Because at the end of the day, we are all here to do the work of Rotary. That's why we joined the organization. And so I want to encourage y'all as I land is to think about, can you be Timon? Can you be Puma? Most importantly, I think we're all can be Simbas if we're showing up to be Rotarians. And I want to say thank you. I'm going to open it up for questions. Most importantly, I want you to always stay committed to your Rotary why and Rotary purpose, because that's what allows for us to show up every day. And don't forget why you joined in the first place. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bowtie. It's great to have you here, and thank you so much for the work that you're doing in the Rotary community and beyond. And we do have time for maybe a question or two. Do we have, I see Dana Sack out there with a microphone. Does anybody in our ballroom or on Zoom? Looks like we got a question from Dudley Thompson. Please make sure you hold the mic very close to your mouth.
Thank you for presenting today. And I appreciate all that you've done for speaking to a lot of the Rotary groups. I saw you about 4 years ago. I think it was either at PETS or the large club conference. And that's when DEI was just starting to be around Rotary. Actually, I think the president, I had the opportunity to ask her at that time, is DE&I political? And everybody who answered it that year said DE&I is not political. And now today we see it sort of become political. How do you address that question?
Well, I think it's interesting. D&I is from a frame in literature. It was built through a social movement, right? We got to think about how D&I how we got to the words of diversity, equity, and inclusion. You can't really talk about getting to these outcomes without going through a political vehicle. I mean, this is real. Like institutionalized. It was created, the government, the body created inequities in our society. And in order to unpack that, you have to go through the vehicles of the institution to really solve some of these, these challenges that has arrived or been here since the civil rights movement, or that caused the civil rights movement. And so my response to is that, it's a human rights issue. So you can't really talk about politics and human rights, but you have to be able to kind of really unpack that in the processes and procedures. And that goes with the policy, right? That helps us. So my response to it says, whether you didn't agree with it 4 years or not, it is some political components that influence and impact D&I. And unfortunately, we should not be at a place where it has been so politicized with the rhetoric that we have now come to this frame lens that this is very controversial to talk about, because we're saying to ourselves, it's very controversial to talk about humans, which we're all humans in this room. So that's my response to that question, or that's my response when people say, are we having a political conversation? It depends.
Dr. Bowtie, thank you so much for that answer and for your presentation. If anybody in our audience today wants to check out your, any of your content or any of the things you teach, where can they check you out?
Yeah, really just hit me up on LinkedIn, Dr. Todd Jenkins, or I'm on all channels, Instagram, Facebook, Dr. Bowtie Todd. If you're interested in my research or want to have a bigger conversation or coffee chat, yeah, please, you have a friend in me. So just reach out. I know we didn't have a lot of time today, but I love you all. Keep being the light and the magic of Rotary. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much. Another round of applause for Dr. Todd Jenkins. And Dr. Jenkins, as I'm sure you well know, Rotary cares very much about eradicating polio in the world. And that's why, in your honor, we're making a contribution to the Polio Plus campaign, because we are how close? This close to eradicating polio. Just a few cases left in the world in those war zones. So folks, in just a couple minutes, we are going to adjourn this meeting, but oh, look, there we go. Dudley Thompson looks like he wants to make me do some more push-ups. Can we get a microphone to former President Dudley Thompson?
Now, I'd like to ring the bell for Dr. Todd. He's an amazing speaker. He's done a lot for Rotary International, and I'm so glad that you're able to get him to come today.
Thank you so much, Dudley. Assistant District Governor Dudley Thompson, I should say. Do we have any more bell rings? Only a couple precious minutes left. You know, I could do a lot of push-ups. One more for Dr. Todd from Will Hobbs. Thank you so much, Will.
Jesse, you are out of time. You have to keep going.
We are out of time. Okay, so David Stein, I know you're out there ready to make another announcement for us.
I am. Couple things. One, no meeting next Thursday. Come to the gala. Buy your gala tickets from Stephanie on the back on your way out. Two, if you didn't already sign up for the brown bag, please take one of these sheets off your table and do it soon. And finally, to promote the meeting on the 17th, Randy.
Well, it's really Earth Month because a day is not enough. So 2 weeks from now, Sabrina Landreth, General Manager of the East Bay Regional Park System, will be here to address us. And if you think about this park system, 73 parks, 127,000 acres of parkland in our backyard here. So how many members go to Redwood Park? How many people go to Tilden? And how many people go to Anthony Chabot? Okay, so get your questions together for her. She's very influential, and I'm sure I've asked her to address the parks that we are most likely to visit, because I think covering 73 parks is really quite a lot. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Randy. All right, so at this point, I would like to invite all of our new members and their sponsors to stand up and head to the back of the room so our congregation here can greet you on the way out. I would like to remind everybody in the ballroom today to please bust your tables and throw away any garbage that may be there. I would like to once again thank our speaker, Dr. Todd Jenkins, aka Dr. Bowtie, and thank all of our presenters who came to the stage. Yeah, I didn't forget, but I wanted to give any space. Do we have any bell rings on Zoom? Do we have any other bell rings? All right. People, this meeting of Rotary number 3 is now adjourned, and I owe you 13 push-ups. Everybody was so quick up here, I didn't get to do any jumping jacks. But here's a fun fact for you. The jumping jack was invented by Jumping Jack LaLanne, an Oaklander.